The Walking Dead is on its 8th season and there's not really an end in sight, but it will end one day. Right? Well, for the eventual day when it probably does end, here are 5 theories on how The Walking Dead will end. If this is your first time on the channel, you can hit that subscribe button and ring the bell to stay up to date with our videos. This is a pretty interesting ending theory that's been credited to Larry King of all people. So all the events we've seen in The Walking Dead have taken place in the United States. They don't cut away to a Canadian walker eating flesh poutine or something. It's all American. So King's theory is that the show will end with whatever survivors are left reaching some kind of destination on an ocean coast that they've been told to go to. And you realize that there are a bunch of massive ships blockading them in. Through that, we find out that the outbreak was only in America, and that they've been quarantined this whole time without even knowing it. Here's an ending that would make fans throw their TVs and laptops and whatever out the window. So back in the very first episode of The Walking Dead, we saw Rick Grimes wake up from a coma and be like, oh no, everything's terrible now. Well, according to this theory, he's actually still in that coma, and everything we've seen happen has all been some kind of messed up dream. Yeah, that classic twist ending. We really hope they don't end up going with this because it's been done before and it's never actually satisfying. Luckily, unless they shot all the characters reacting to him waking up back in season 1, they can't really do this because Chandler Riggs is old now. Speaking of Chandler Riggs being old now, when we met Carl Grimes, he was just a little dude. Now he's almost fully grown and he's been through a whole lot and seen a whole lot too. Although now he's seeing a whole lot less because of the whole hole. He's missing an eyeball, is what I'm trying to say. Well, this theory suggests that Carl has actually been the protagonist the entire time instead of Rick, and that the whole show has been him retelling the events of the apocalypse to somebody. Maybe his kids, maybe his grandkids. It sounds like a flawed theory because we see a lot of stuff that Carl isn't around for, but he could just be retelling the retellings he heard about those. So essentially the show would end with a big time jump into the future where we see who Carl is telling the story to, and maybe he has a big white beard or something, I don't know. Well, we know that the Center for Disease Control is in pretty bad shape because it exploded and stuff. So there probably aren't many scientists out there working on a cure. But that doesn't mean that a cure won't be found. It's entirely possible that the cure to walkerism is something relatively simple that they just haven't realized yet. Not as stupid as the aliens from Science being allergic to water, but something. That means the series would end with the team essentially wiping out the walkers. Not necessarily turning them back into humans, but at the very least ending their violent and cannibalistic ways. And then the characters would kind of wipe their hands and start rebuilding. Fade to black. This last theory is the least cheerful one, and it's the easiest one to explain. It says that the walkers win. They get everybody. That's basically it. With the remaining humans fighting each other in all-out war, the number of people that are actually still alive is getting lower and lower each episode. It's entirely possible that by the end of the show, the remaining survivors will end up getting turned as well. And that wraps up today's quick list. Let us know in the comment section how you think The Walking Dead will end and what you thought of these theories. If you're watching this on Facebook, there's a link you can hit to jump over to YouTube and subscribe. Thanks for watching.